Janitor Bleeds Review, Haunted Arcade Lounge with an in-game play. City legends about the murderous haunted slot machine polyberserkers have been with us since the early 1980s. It is surprising that this graceful theme is so rarely used in the computer games. So, initially the authors tried to discourage the player from their work quite strongly. The action started rather standard. We survived a car accident in a remote area and now we have to deal with it. There is no much choice. Behind us the road is blocked by a tree, and in front of us there is a fragile railing and only mountains on the side. The obstacles look easy to overcome even by not very athletic 10 years old boy, but of course implausible. So we discover a decent leading to a banner camp where we find an enigmatic note and nothing else. And then we spin it almost absolute darkness, getting more and more frustrated because nothing is happening and the way is blocked by rocks everywhere. After a while I finally found a flashlight with which the story would simply not start because only having it, even if it starts turned off, starts a cutscene and enables further exploration of surroundings. In addition, the item rests in a completely non-obvious place, so I came across it only by the accident. With lightning at our disposal, we will quickly find our way to a huge abandoned arcade. Judging by the decor, the place was abandoned at the turn of the 1980s and the 1990s, and yet oddly enough the power system still works here. Through of all the wedding machines stored, only the mysterious janitor is functional. Despite the subtle warming visible on the wall next to the slot machine, of course, we threw the found tokens into it. Janitor looks like a trivial, really early 90 games for Atari 2006 ZX Spectrum. While cleaning a large office by mowing title janitor, consisting of several pixels on the cross. Pretty soon it turns that the running janitor was actually not a good idea. Turning it on involves something that lives in this place and remains invisible for the time being, but when it gets closer, the screen productive images disappears. The creature, attacked by the light of the flashlight, forces us to escape, during which we travel the next floors of the living room. And this is basically the whole content of the game. Of course, the plot has not been forgotten, but it's one is not very addictive and gives the impression of being added to an attachment. The lack of the Polish language versions do not help in reading the notes. The aforementioned slot machine is so important that playing it allows you to overcome obstacles the real world by completing the levels in the janitor on the floors of the living room, so we can get keys or tools needed to unlock the other escape roads. So, sometimes it works the other way. To certain real-world collectibles allow us to make progress in the game. With the time, the reality and the game world interpret more and more, which creates a cool, quite paranoid atmosphere. It's getting harder and harder to tell where we are, which already dimension is ours. I appreciate that the authors do not scare us with some jump scares, using slightly more subliminal means. Darkness, claustrophobia, awareness of something precise, and immediate threat. This makes for a pretty good impression-boosting vibe. What did I don't like? Optimization. Despite the low requirements of the game, it happens in some situations to slow down and look at the beginning. I complain about the all lack of hands, but sometimes the authors bend in other way. The intelligence of haunting, sometimes which becomes temporarily visible with me, force badly. Then you can see that the bodyman has big problems with finding the way. Is more cluttered rooms, which turn out to be unfortunately comical. In addition, logical puzzles are rather trivial here, and the shooter element that appears at the end of the game is also not shocking what to hide here. It is also a pity that there is only one slot machine in large living room, especially since the chips everywhere, with which there is no much to offer some time. It was begging, for example, by playing on the other devices to get some collectibles, hint on the other information. But it seems to me even the opportunity to spend a relaxing moment with the seems classical would be great. I see considerate but completely untapped potential here. Overall, I like the Janitor Bleeds as a pretty decent Turkey horror movie, but also nothing else. a bit of regret. So, verdict: the Genital Beats is survival horror in a retro aesthetic. We travel through a haunted arcade launch, and then the key element of the gameplay is the game inside the game. The authors try to create a climate of danger without restoring the jump scares, which they even manage to do, although the final effect is neither overwhelming nor frustrating. So about the minuses, it's the optimization, quite short and quite easy, a few shortcomings, and on top the potential. About the pros, that's a good, nice, outstanding, nice horror music, tries to play on emotions also, a bit paranoid atmosphere, the atmosphere is great, and the idea of this game is perfect. So thank you so much for watching us today. Won't you guys forget to comment and subscribe, and please hit those bells to make some notification from my channel. All the links in the description. Bye.